Hello students, in this session I am going to explain Le Chatelier's principle, which is a very important topic and purely conceptual. If you learn this, you can solve the questions very easily, and this video won't take that much time. Please watch attentively. So what is Le Chatelier's principle? So let me take an example first. A plus B gives C. So after some time, there is an equilibrium is established between the reactants and products, right? So, according to the principle, if a system in equilibrium is subjected to a change of concentration, pressure, temperature, the equilibrium shifts in a direction to nullify the change. So, got it? So, this is my system. If I want to disturb the equilibrium, so I changed the concentration or pressure, temperature, whatever, then what happens to the equilibrium? It shifts in a direction. It shifts in a direction so that the change caused by me should be nullified. Got it? So let us go in detail with this principle. Coming to the factors affecting the equilibrium, what are the factors? Concentration, pressure and temperature. So these three are the main factors. Apart from this, addition of catalyst and inert gas is also there that we discuss later. First one, so concentration of reactants and products. So there is a reaction here. Now N2 plus 3H2 gives ammonia. In this reaction, so if the product is formed, the reaction always proceeds in forward direction, right? Then only the product will be formed. So this is the system. I changed the concentration of N2. That means more number of moles of nitrogen is added in the reaction mixture. More number of nitrogen. That means the reactant's concentration is increased now. So to decrease the concentration of reactants, it should move forward. Then only the concentration of reactants decrease, right? So if the concentration of reactants increases, then the equilibrium shifts in forward direction. Whereas when the product concentration is increases, then to decrease its concentration, the equilibrium shifts in backward direction. Okay, so to nullify the change, if the concentration is increases, to nullify that, it has to decrease its concentration. Got it? So that it shifts in backward direction. Now, so the concentration of reactants increases, then the reaction proceeds in forward direction, whereas the concentration of products increases, the reaction equilibrium shifts in backward direction. That's it. Now, the second one is effect of temperature. So we know that there are two types of reactions, exothermic and endothermic, right? So what is exothermic reaction? When energy is released. Okay, so when the energy is released, that is exothermic reaction. When the energy is absorbed, that is endothermic reaction. That we know. So write an equation here. A plus B gives C plus energy. So in case of exothermic reactions, the energy term should be included on the product side. Whereas in endothermic reactions, the energy term should be included on the reactant side. Please watch carefully. So simply, so according to Le Chatelier principle, when temperature increases, that means the energy is increased here. That means the product concentration is increased. So the equilibrium shifts in backward direction. Got it? Very simple to understand this. Don't go for the moles concept. Simple here. So the energy term is on the product side. So if temperature increases, so the number of products or increases. So the reaction shifts in backward direction. Very simple. Okay. In endothermic reaction, the energy is included on the reactants. Okay. So if increases, temperature increases, then the reaction, then the equilibrium shifts in forward direction, so that the increase in the change is decreased. Got it? So increase in temperature, the equilibrium shifts in forward direction in case of endothermic, whereas in case of exothermic, increase in temperature shifts the equilibrium in backward direction. Got it? Very simple to understand. Please watch it carefully. Now coming to the pressure and volume. So if you know the pressure, you can solve the volume also very easily. Why? Because we know that pressure is inversely proportional to volume. Got it? Now, there are three cases here. The first one is very beautiful case, that is delta N is equal to 0. That means number of moles of products minus reactants. Number of moles of products minus reactants. What is delta N? Delta N is equal to, here I am writing here, delta N is equal to number of moles of products minus reactants. Okay. So, in the case of first reaction, H2 plus I2 gives 2HI. In this case, delta N is equal to 2 minus 2 equal to 0, right? So, this is a very good case actually, because there is no effect of increase in pressure or volume. Okay. Coming to the next case, that is delta N is equal to positive. So, there is a reaction here. So, in this reaction, delta N is equal to 2 minus 1, 1. So that is positive, right? So please try to remember one point here. We know that concentration, that is molarity, is equal to number of moles by volume. So that means concentration is inversely proportional to volume, right? And increase in volume. So if volume increases, our motto is to keep the concentration constant, C constant, right? So the number of moles should also increase. Then only C will be constant, right? So if there is an increase in volume, the number of moles also increases, so that C will be constant. In this case, number of volume increases, then the number of moles also increases in which direction? Forward direction. So the equilibrium shifts in forward direction. Got it? Why? Because number of moles increases in forward direction only. Then coming to the next case, that is delta N is equal to negative. In this case, delta N is equal to 2 minus 4, that is minus 2. So if the volume increases, in this case, same thing happens here. See here, if volume increases, number of moles also increases. Then only C remains constant, right? So if C volume increases, the number of moles increases in which direction? Backward direction. So the equilibrium shifts in backward direction. Got it? So if the volume decreases, number of moles also decreases. Then only C remains constant. So the reaction shifts in forward direction. Got it? The equilibrium shifts in forward direction. I think you understood this pressure volume case. If you know the pressure case, you can easily answer the volume. Why? Because here in this case, increase in volume means pressure is inversely proportional to volume. So increase in volume is decrease in pressure. So decrease in pressure shifts the equilibrium in forward direction. Same thing with the other case. So same, if you know the pressure, apply the same, apply in inversely relation to the volume. Next, addition of inert gas. Again, there are two cases here, at constant pressure and at constant volume. This is the good one because there is no effect of addition of inert gas at constant volume. So there is no question here. Coming to the constant pressure. In this case, what happens to the position of equilibrium? Let us see now. There is a reaction mixture in a cylinder. Let me take PCl5, PCl3 and Cl2. And the reaction proceeds in the cylinder. And after some time, I added inert gas like helium, neon, whatever. I added inert gas. Now, by the addition of inert gas, what happens to the cylinder? Volume increases. Okay. If volume increases, in order to keep the C constant, N also increases. The same funda. So if N increases, then only C remains constant. So in the case of first one, the reaction shifts in forward direction. Simply we can write like this: the equilibrium shifts towards larger number of moles. Why? Because volume increases. Got it? If the case, in the case of ammonia, that is reverse. See here, N2 plus 3H2 gives 2NH3. In this case, number of moles increases in backward direction. So the reaction shifts in back. Let us try it. So what are the favorable conditions of Haber's process and contact process? Let me write the Haber's process. N2 plus 3H2 gives 2NH3. And what is the contact process? It will be 2SO2 plus O2 gives 2SO3. So both are exothermic reactions. Now let us see how the concentration of reactants affects the equilibrium, temperature and pressure. Okay. Now if the concentration of N2 and H2 are more, then the reaction proceeds in forward direction. So more product will be formed. So more number of N2 and H2 will be taken in the process. Coming to the second one, temperature. As it is an exothermic reaction, if temperature increases, the reaction shifts in backward direction, right? So low temperatures are favorable for the product formation. So practically it is not possible, that is a different case, but according to the theory, low temperature gives good yield of ammonia. Now coming to the pressure. So if pressure increases, volume decreases. If volume decreases, number of moles also decreases. So number of moles decreases in which direction? It is in forward direction. So more ammonia will be formed. So that means high pressure and low temperature favors the yield of formation of ammonia in case of Haber's process. Coming to the next one, that is contact process. In this case, SO2 plus O2 gives SO3. It is also exothermic. So coming to the concentration, the number of moles of SO2 and O2 should be more, than only SO3 will be formed. And coming to the temperature, as it is an exothermic reaction, if temperature increases, it favors the backward reaction. So low temperature favors the forward direction. That's why more SO3 will be formed, right? And then coming to the pressure again, in this case, delta N is equal to 2 minus 3, that is minus 1. So this is also negative. So again, high pressure, volume decreases, number of moles also decreases. Number of moles decrease in which direction? Forward direction. So low temperature, again high pressure favors the contact process. For your doubts in chemistry, please mail us or WhatsApp us. Thank you very much.